Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to Drippin Reactions, a sidestep from our usual podcast where we peer into the window of society and report back to you with the goings on, the skullduggery, the beauty, the pitfalls, the do's and don'ts. Forewarned is forearmed, right? We have returning with us this week, JESS Gray, a interesting, equal and sometimes opposite reaction to mine. We've chosen to stagnate the show, so in 1 week we're going to focus on the female aspect and influence on society, and the next week we'll do men. So please, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like and comment. Let's get in there.
I don't understand why you're not drinking. It's brunch.
I told you I don't drink. I don't even know why you ordered the drink.
Well, if you don't drink, you're going to pay for this meal.
Can I just get a mocktail, please?
No. Can we get a round of shots for my friend here?
Why would you order that?
Well, I need you nice and loose.
This is literally brunch, like it's morning. And I don't even drink, so...
Nobody drinks mocktails. Otherwise, there's no second date, hun.
I'm not gonna drink just to go out with you.
You need to get a little bit looser. I don't know. Sincerely beautiful. You gotta try this. You really gotta.
Why did you order that? I'm good. Stop. What are you doing? Can you stop?
I'm so confused.
Why are you confused?
Like, why are you eating so much? This is like crazy. I've never seen a model eat this much. The only reason I went out with a model is because I thought they just drink and don't. You're gonna really like this one a lot better. It's healthy. It's good for you. It's got tomato juice in it. It's got lime juice in it.
But it's alcohol, right?
No, not at all.
I can literally smell the alcohol.
No, not at all. I promise, it's good for you.
What are you doing? Can you let me go, please? Can you let me go? I don't want to make a scene. Can you let me go?
Finish those 2 drinks. We're not leaving until they're done.
Okay, I gotta say right off the bat, I don't think that's real.
I don't think it's real, but I think it raises a lot of good points.
Yeah, I think it raises a lot of good points, but then a lot of these points, well, all of the points are aimed at watch out for those creepy evil men. Don't do this, don't do that. But then you have to bear in mind, right, there's this growing fad now where girls are on dating sites, meeting guys, hitting them up for foodies.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're getting guys. Like, for example, a guy can set up a date Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and she'll meet a guy. And we all know that the chivalrous man and society prompts us to pay for the meal.
Yeah.
Okay, we got this little movement now what's starting to say equal rights, pay for them food equally.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, no man's really going to do that, really. It's really only the very, very more adversarial men, or a very, 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 very successful man who's got nothing to lose that will do something like that.
Yeah.
But the likes of everyday people are not going to jeopardise the possibility of a date, some... undercover fun or whatever, just to not pay this. We see it as a part of the quest. You have to spend that much money. You have to speculate to accumulate.
Yeah.
So it's all about how this guy's doing that. But then this girl, she's eating and eating and eating, and the guy's paying for it and everything else. So I think it's not real for a start. But if it is real, the guy needs putting down.
Yeah.
He really does. But it's points to be raised, but then it's all against the man, really.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not all against him. She could have left as soon as he started doing that.
That's what makes me think it's a foodie.
Yeah.
Because she's a model, so he says.
Yeah.
I've never been out with anyone as beautiful as you. I don't know if the video's been really edited, but she seems to be expending no attention on him whatsoever. She's just preoccupied with what she's eating. It just sounds real to me. Like.
Obviously, if it was real, she could have left.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's all like creepy men. I've gone out before and there's men like, let me buy you a drink. And I'm like, no. Like, oh, come on, let me, it's a good bit of fun. Let me buy you a drink. No, I've said no.
Is that with fear of what they're doing to the drink, or is that principle?
That's just, I like to buy my own drinks.
Yeah.
I don't like other men buying me drinks, because this is going to make me sound like a bitch. Because that means I'm going to have a conversation with them. And I'm not out to sit and talk to men. I'm out to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
So, like, out of principle, I just go, no, I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Or they go, do you want to dance? No, I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah. Are you out with your girls at this point?
Yeah, a lot of times I go out with my sister.
That's nice.
And I just go, look, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm here with my sister.
Yeah.
Please leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I have had it before where they're like, oh, come on, they keep coming back. And I get so annoyed.
Yeah,
I'm like, I told you no. The meaning of the word no means no. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I think the best one was we were in a karaoke bar. Me and my sister are both singers. So we love doing karaoke. We can have a few drinks, have a few shots, things like that. And we were sat at a table and this guy was doing karaoke and he kept trying to pull me up to sing with him. I'm like, no. And he kept coming back. And at one point he was sat next to me and I was like, do you not get it? I'm like, leave, go away. And I like even into the microphone, I was like, can you go, leave me alone? But we know the guy who does all the karaoke. Yeah. And I'm looking at him going, help me, please help me. My sister's laughing because she thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah. She's got confidence in you. She knows that well. You're going to sort it.
She knows. But I have had it, not like creepy men, but a man's come up to me before. And I'm dancing with my sister and he just grabs me and I'm like, can you leave me alone? He's like, come home with me. I'm like, no, I have a husband. He's like, forget about him.
Was
I'm
he
like,
drunk?
I have no idea. I was like, and he was like, come home with me. And I'm like, no. I said, can you stop touching me? And he was like, oh, come home. I'm like, I have a husband at home waiting for me. And he's like, forget about him. I'm like, I'm going to forget about you. Go away. Leave me. I was like, don't ever touch me again.
Oh, wow. That's,
yeah. And like the people that you're out with, they'll just go, I'll just leave it. Don't make a scene. I'm going to make a scene. This man's just come up to me and he's like, grabbed me by the waist, grabbed my hands. I'm like, I want him to leave me alone. And he doesn't understand the word no.
In a situation like that, head to the doorman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been many times that I've been on the doors and a guy's come over to a woman, done whatever, and he hasn't done anything as bad as what happened to you.
Yeah.
But he's just basically pursued us from one part of the club to another part of the club. And then the girls came over and then we'll go over and we'll say, look, get out or get over there.
Yeah.
Am I watching you? Do you know what I mean? Like, so once that happens, that's what we're there for. That's what they're there for.
Yeah,
doorman.
yeah.
Like, so,
I always make friends with all the doormen anyway.
Yeah. Safe night then, isn't it?
Yeah. If you know them all anyway, then they'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, that was one of the worst experiences I've had going out. It just come up, literally like behind me, grab me by my waist, grab my hands, dance with me, come home with me. No.
Yeah, that's bad news. Bad news.
So I do think that video is fake, but I think there is some truth. Maybe she's had like a bad experience in the past, and that's why she started doing these. Or
it's the way the guy's talking as well.
Yeah,
because I know folk can be relentless, but this guy goes to the next level. She's saying no, and he's going on. But what really sold it to me like it was fake is we're borderlining here. We're going into criminal territory where he's got her a drink with tomato in it.
Yeah.
And she says, I can literally smell the alcohol.
Yeah.
That's criminal.
Yeah.
That's a drug, alcohol,
Yeah.
So that's what makes me think, okay, I don't think that's real because I don't think he would do that because it's criminal,
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got?
No, this sounds crazy. Women, please just hear me out. And men, even hear me out. I'm sorry, but how often do you hear that a woman cheats on her man and he stays? Never. We'll never hear that. Never. If we did the things that they did, they would be out so quick. They would not. Why is it always women have to forgive? Why are we such big forgiving hearts? Why?
Not 90%. It's
100% of the time.
I don't know anybody.
He'd have been like,
Okay.
why? No, this sounds crazy. Women, please just hear me out. And men, even hear me.
Wow, she says, how often do you hear that a woman's cheated on a man?
And that they've stayed together. I think it's more the part of they've stayed together. I mean, I've never cheated, but I've been cheated on, and immediately for me, relationship over. I'm like, sorry, no, you've gone behind my back. But I do know people who have been cheated on, and they've stayed with their partners, but they're not allowed to speak to men because that's a form of cheating. But he's gone out and cheated on her multiple times.
Okay, this is there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that men cheating with a woman and a woman cheating with a man is different.
Yeah.
I think it's completely different. There's a biological urge and necessity for a man to go out there and do his thing. Testosterone. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Women don't have that. That being said, it is not an excuse.
No.
It shouldn't be allowed, and it's cheating. Okay?
Yeah.
I understand that. But if a woman cheats with a man, I think we covered this in a little bit of the podcast last time. If a woman cheats with a man, it's generally not wham bam, thank you man, gone. It's more of a case of It's someone who she knows. It's someone who she's passed off as a friend. It's someone who she works with. It's someone who she sees quite regularly. So she must have sat there and thought about this person for quite some time. And that's where it's worse, where a man isn't really going to sit there. If a man cheats, if a man goes out to a club on Saturday, he'll go out, he'll have a couple of drinks, he'll meet a girl, he'll go back, he'll do whatever, he'll go back to his girlfriend or whoever, and he probably won't give her a second thought again. But I think the same is not true of women traditionally. But I am aware that is changing.
I think it is changing. It's definitely changing. There's more. I've seen women go out and cheat with random guys and then go, oh, you know, can you not mention this to anybody and all this lot? Yeah. And it's more, you see the face of the guilt set in and they're like, oh, I've like, not like, we were out. Yeah, so this was a woman. I went out. I don't actually speak to this woman anymore, but because for me, it was like final straw of friendship. I was like, no, I don't trust you anymore because you've gone out and you've cheated. Yeah. And she was married. She had 2 kids. She went out. She had a few too many drinks, and me and a friend were quite worried about her because she was getting quite close to this other guy. Oh. We were like, we don't want to think something's going to happen because, we want to trust that she's going to make the right decision. Halfway through the night, she went completely missing. We were like, okay, we know. She came back, the look of guilt on her face. And she went, I cannot say anything to my husband. Yeah.
Well, what's worse than that? I used to dance in a club, and upstairs, women danced for men. Lap dancing bar.
Yeah.
Downstairs, men danced for women. We were under serious scrutiny because council licensing and things like that.
Yeah.
So with women, as we know, women are allowed to get on with everything. They're allowed to get away with anything. Like they can do lap dancing. With men, we had undercover council members coming in, undercover police people coming in to make sure that we didn't get naked. We went down to our boxer shorts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're there dancing for women, and a lot of the women, as you can imagine, are women that are going to get married. They're out on a hen night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll go around town, they do whatever, you've got the veil thing on, you've got like a blow-up doll, and they're having a hell of a time, and then you'll come to our club, they'll have a few dances, or pretty much the women, they don't spend the stingy, so all of them would chip in for the bride-to-be to get married, and she would get her dance. I guarantee you, at the end of the night, one of the lads was going off to meet her, and it absolutely scared the bejesus out of me.
See, this is
And this is a woman who's about to get married, and the reason why is it's her last night. That's how she validates it.
Yeah, that's how it's validated for like strippers, like whether it's male or female. That's how it's validated on like hen nights and stag days. Oh, we'll get you a stripper because it's your last night of freedom. Like, no, it isn't.
No,
because you've been with that person up until that point.
Yeah,
I don't like that ideology at all. I hate it so much. Me and my husband, before we get married, we didn't have a hen do or a stag do. We had a joint weekend away, and we went to like Go Ape, and we did like adventure stuff. And
is that India?
Yeah, no, we did it.
Go Ape.
No, Go Ape. Yeah. So we did all that.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
And we had like an adventure weekend as like our last big adventure before we got married.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's all right. Yeah.
Because like some of his friends were like, let's get strippers. And I was absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. I don't think so.
No. I think the golden rule, really, or the general rule is if somebody cheats on you, don't take them back because they will probably do it again.
Yeah.
You've got a ticket. You're like, okay, if I do this, I can say, sorry, I coy for ages, blah, 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 and I can have them back. So I think the golden rule is someone does it. And that includes men.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of content out there on the internet, and there's a lot of like philosophy of how a man can just go out and do it and come back to his wife and then he doesn't care anything about that woman. I'm still of the mindset that don't do it.
Yeah, you still don't do it. But I've also, and I've experienced this myself, when I got cheated on, this like man that I was with was begging for me to get back to him. And I've seen it online, like men, when they found like when they get caught out, they're like, oh no, please take me back, please. And they full on like beg. This guy was begging me, like, please take me back. I'm like, You wasn't going to tell me.
Yeah.
I found
you
out
found out?
Snapchat.
Oh, no way.
I found out on
way.
Snapchat. So
How?
I had, my boyfriend at the time didn't know this, I had his best friend on Snapchat. And I texted my boyfriend, what are you doing tonight? And all this lot. Oh, nothing. I'm just sitting at home. I'm like, okay. And I look on his best friend's Snapchat. And my boyfriend had his girl best friend sat on his knee. And they were like cuddling and kissing him. And I messaged him and I said, oh, you're still home alone? And he was like, yeah, it's quiet night. I'm like, you liar. You absolute liar.
Yeah. I will get into that friend thing a bit later anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay.
It wasn't the cheating that pissed me off. It was the upfront, blatant lying when I asked him.
Yeah.
Because, and I know this is all over the internet, if a woman asks you, what are you doing? She knows already.
Yeah.
She's just trying to get that oh, where was you? She's asking you because she already knows a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, I've never done anything like that, but if I've been out with my mates and I give some kind of white lie where I really just want to stay here and I'm just playing guitar and I'm having a boss time and I'm kicking back in this house or something like that, and then she'll call and she'll say where are you? And know quite well, she knows where I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh no.
Yeah, she already knows. She's just ringing to see what you say.
Yeah. Use it as a weapon against you later on,
Yeah. But this is why being in the other side of that relationship now, I once went out in Manchester. I'm not originally from Manchester, but I was out with some friends. And I wasn't really drinking because I was driving. I was like, I'll have one early in the afternoon. And then I became designated driver because people's trains got cancelled.
Okay, damn.
So I was like, yeah, okay. So I text my husband, I'll be home soon. The lads are just finishing up their drink. But then I met this woman and she was creative. She had this amazing background and we just got talking about what she does and all this lot.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, 2 hours had passed. My husband's ringing me, where are you? I'm like, I haven't left. And he's like, have the lads finished the drink? I'm like, they've got another one. I was like, I'm sorry, I got talking. And he was like, yeah, all right, whatever. What time are you be home? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Oh, I think we're leaving soon. I'll just text you when I'm in the car.
Yeah.
Because I made that mistake of going, I'll be home soon. And then hours had gone by and he's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm just not going to tell you anymore that I'm leaving soon. Yeah. I'll just text you when I'm on the way home. Because he panicked, bless him.
Yeah.
He panicked.
If you guys didn't have sex, would you still be together? And a lot of them were like, no. Mm. Okay, so remove sex from the relationship or remove sexual chemistry from the relationship. Would you want to spend quality time with this person consistently? Another person said, could you spend 10,000 meals with this person? Because that's what it's going to be like if you're getting married and you're with them for a long time. 10,000 meals is interesting enough. And when we jump into sexual chemistry first, the foundation is usually a little shakier. And also, if you're doing that with multiple people, it's hard to build a strong foundation with one. And you're never really getting that peace. I remember asking some...
Okay.
I have a very good story for this one. When about a year into me and my husband, when we first started dating, I got very sick and I was quite ill. And my doctor literally told me, you can't do anything, you can't have sex. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And he was like, for at least 3 weeks to a month. I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. And I told, obviously, at the time he was only my boyfriend, I was like, look, I'm not allowed to have sex, I'm not allowed to do anything. And he was absolutely fine with it. He was like, you're not well, you're sick, you come first, I don't care. And there was times he's like, oh God, you could tell it sexually frustrated. Yeah. And I'm like, look, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, it's not. And the amount of times I used to apologise, going, I'm really sorry. I felt bad.
Yeah.
Because I put him in this position where, look, we can't have sex and it's my fault. And I was apologising. And it got to a point where he went, stop apologising.
Yeah.
He was like, this isn't your fault.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
And we went like the full, until I got the all clear from my doctor, yeah, you're good to start, going back to your normal types of activities and things like that. I was like, okay, cool. We used to just sit, watch movies, talk, eat meals together. And it was such a refreshing change of pace
Yeah. So you had substance that enabled the relationship to carry on without that aspect.
Yeah. It was so nice to just have that it was like a breather in a relationship. Obviously, we were still together, and it was just like, oh, we can just cuddle on the couch, and there's no tension of, either of us wanting to do it. No, we're just going to cuddle on the couch, we're going to watch a film together, we're going to have food, we're going to chat.
Yeah.
And it was so nice, but at the same time, I felt like I had to apologise, and that's not something that I should have had to do.
Yeah.
But I did, because obviously in this day and age, if you're not putting out there, then your man's going to go out and find somebody new.
Yeah. For me, there's this thing where guys want sex. Okay, there's a certain thing about being attracted to somebody. You never walk down the road, do you, and see someone walking and go over to them and go, wow, you look like you've got a really interesting personality.
Yeah.
You see them and you think, okay, there's initial attraction there, which you can put part and parcel with sex. I love sex. It's great. It's awesome. And I can be quite voracious at times,
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, most of my life, it's always been about the company first.
Yes.
Let me just definitely reiterate again, I do love sex.
Yeah,
and I do
yeah.
like having it,
Yeah.
But it's always been about the company, because I know quite well, if it's 24 hours in a day, if I spend 6 hours of that sleeping,
Yeah.
whatever else in work, I know that we're going to have sex for maybe an hour or two.
Yeah.
Then there's the rest of the day that we're going to spend together.
Yeah.
So that is more important to me than the actual sex.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If the sex was terrible and really bad, sorry, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
But as long as it's good, the first thing for me is the company. And I always say this with friends of mine. They say that their girlfriends have said things to them before, like, "Oh, the butterflies have gone. You don't look at me like we did in the very beginning." And I say to them, but what you need to impress upon them is that, you have butterflies and all like chemistry and everything in the beginning, but that's replaced by familiarity, by memories, by knowing what the other person wants, what they're going to do, how they're going to react, being there for each other. So I think if you took sex off for X amount of time, I'm all right. I'm good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I think that could make or break a relationship as well, because you can really find out the intentions of the other person quite quickly.
Yeah.
If you go, look, we're taking sex out for 2 weeks. If that person's then getting annoyed by that, they're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Same can be said of occupation and money.
Yeah.
If you took a person, usually it's the guy, because the guy isn't bothered whether his wife is working or not, or how much she gets really. But how long can you go if the husband isn't working? If he's not bringing in an income, how long is it before you start thinking, okay, and you get jaded and you think, no, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But that's something to explore later, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's all of those ones.
Here's why women regret divorce more than men. Financially speaking, women's lives get worse after the divorce, while men's get better. The standard of living for women goes down an average of 27%, while the standard of living for men goes up 10%. So you can see why women may feel that their lives get worse after divorce, because their standards of living go down while their ex-husband's standard of living goes up. Here's why women regret divorce.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is just like complete, unadulterated delusion. That is absolutely terrible. Oh my God. God.
I don't agree with it, because obviously it doesn't depend on like, women's lives get worse or men's lives get better. I've seen it the other way around.
Yeah.
My parents got divorced and my mum's life can get better, but it didn't go down, whereas my dad's life got significantly worse.
Yeah.
He lost the house. He lost access to me, which was, he said was one of the worst parts of his entire life. He had to move 4 hours away for work. And in all of that, he still had to get up and go to work like nothing had happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said that was the worst. He said the worst thing wasn't losing the house that he paid for. He paid the bills for, because he was still paying the bills when the divorce went through as well. He said it wasn't that, it was losing access to me.
Yes.
He said that was the worst possible thing because he didn't get a say in it.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, yeah. I mean, I've heard this since the beginning of time, since the beginning of my time, and I can also live through other people's experiences vicariously through what they're going through.
Yeah.
And I am telling you now, hands down, I do not know what the hell this woman is talking about. I don't know. I don't know why she's done this. Well, actually, if you look at the hashtags, it says something like hashtag divorce or financial preparation or something. Financial planning.
And tips.
Divorce tips and stuff. No. Okay, so alimony. You're married to a woman. You have to give her a certain amount of money per month, depending on how long she's worked and how old she is, to maintain her level of life.
Yeah.
You have to pay child maintenance.
Yes.
Because I don't care what statistic it is, I'm going to say 99.9% of the time it goes with the mother.
Yeah.
So you pay child maintenance. Now, let's say, for example, a man pays £1,000 a month. Do you think that woman is spending £999.99 on that child?
From my experience, no. No. So because obviously it all went off of my dad's occupation of how much child support he had to pay. It was £75 a week. Okay, and he was paying that directly to my mother. Mm-hmm. I didn't see a penny of that. Now, I didn't like living at home with my mum, so I moved out when I was 16. I did not like being in the household. It was very, and I always said this, I've said this directly to my mother, she wasn't the parent I needed. She was a provider because she was working all the time. Yeah. And I was like, look, it's just, I'm 16 years old, I barely ever see anybody and I'm in a house by myself. Yeah. So I moved out and moved in with my sister at the age of 16. After that point, I started getting my own child benefit from my dad. Yeah, okay. He started paying me that £75.
Okay, so was this through court or was that just him off his own bat?
It was him off his own bat. Right. Because I moved in and my sister was a single mum at the time, she had a 1-year-old. And I said, she's given me this bedroom. She's taking care of me. She's putting gas and electric on, things like that. I want to put towards. And I said this to my dad when I got back in contact with him. I said, look, I don't want to be, like sat here doing nothing. I'm living here basically for free. Yeah. So he started paying me that child benefit. Obviously, I was in college at the time, so we went, right. And he helped me plan out. So I was doing finances from a young age because I was putting money towards my sister for the place I was staying at. Yeah. But I was also, I had to plan out my meals at college. So he's like, right. Yeah. Here's
That's
this.
good going from 16.
Yeah, because it was basically, I didn't want to live there free. Yeah. Because I felt so, she had 1-year-old. Yeah. She was working nights. And I'm like, look, I don't feel comfortable doing this. She's 21 years old. She's now taken in a 16-year-old with a 1-year-old. And she's running everything all by herself. And I went, I want to help. So I learned from a young age of finances and how to take care of myself and managing everything. Yeah. But my dad, obviously it got into when I was a bit older, we got onto the topic of conversation of finances again. And he very openly said, the divorce ruined me. Yeah. So, until to this day, it's been 11 years since they got divorced. Yeah. His credit score still has not recovered. Yeah. Because he was paying all the bills and he got all the debt and he got everything from it. Yeah. And my mum is now quite well off with money. Yeah. And my father is still struggling. Well, he's not. He's really good. He's manager. Yeah. So he makes decent pay, but he's still pulling back his credit score. So he's not been able to get a house because of his credit score.
Almost first-hand knowledge. My best friend, his friend, had a good job. He worked in an educational establishment. I won't say what. But he came home once and caught his wife in bed with her boss. Yep. He divorced her and the settlement concluded that he was to spend this much, that much. And let's just put in a nutshell, what happened was at the end of the month, he had £60 to spend. She was okay, Her boss was well off, he owned a company, so she ended up going with him, having this really gorgeous, lavish life, didn't need any of the money, but the court still insisted, knowing his situation, that he paid this money, and he had £60 at the end of the month.
That was another thing that you've just reminded me of. Because my mum didn't want to pay for a lawyer, she kept putting the divorce off, so that my dad's lawyers and solicitors, and he kept having to pay them.
Yeah.
Until it got to the point where she couldn't say no anymore.
Yeah.
Because then she didn't have to pay a penny, and he was paying out for lawyers and solicitors for about 3 years.
Yeah. Oh, that's really bad. But you know what's worse than that?
What?
Nowadays, if a woman goes to a solicitor and she has to pay to a solicitor, if she says that some kind of physical abuse happened, it's free. Absolutely terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, but I bet there's no investigation into whether any abuse actually happened.
Well,
or
if
not.
you go to criminal, then you have to provide proof, evidence, but then when you go to family, you don't.
Yeah.
It's just whoever gets believed, and hashtag believe all women.
Yeah, a lot of times it's women.
Yeah, but it also says the level of life goes down for women as well. I would argue that in the household, it's usually the woman that spends most of the money.
Yeah.
She's going out there, she's buying all the makeup, she's getting the hair done, she's getting the nails done, she's buying all the bags and everything else. She's going on all of these little girly nights, or if that's even allowed, or anything else. But she's spending on things that are in the house as well. Like, for example, a guy would be happy to sit in a house with one chair, a TV, a phone, internet, and a beer.
Yeah.
That's a guy. But no, the woman has to have a home. Now, that's a great thing. It is a good thing, because a woman's touch is unequaled. It's absolutely amazing. You really need it. But she's spending so much money. So when she suddenly leaves this guy, she's rewarded by the government, because she's getting more money now from the government. Probably get some kind of home if she doesn't keep the home that they've got. She'll get money from the husband for alimony and child maintenance. Her money does not go up. It does not go down. It goes up.
Yeah.
So the fact that she loses the status of life is due to her overspending, because she hasn't come to terms with, okay, I can't really spend
because I'm
my
not getting that
partner's money.
second income.
Yeah. But wow, this woman, wow.
It's absolutely crazy. So not just after divorce, but as a single mother, obviously my sister is still a single mother. She actually got told by the government she'd make more money sitting at home doing nothing than out working.
Yeah. Crazy world.
But she refuses to do that because she says she refuses to show her son.
Yes,
that's the
a
standard.
method of life. Yeah. Well, in Japan, they've got a great saying. They say that the world only knows you exist if you're working.
Yeah.
You're sitting at home in this place, nobody knows, no one cares. But when you work, it's friends, it's colleagues, it's a life, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, we'll do one more. And then
Men are
we'll
instinctually repulsed by a woman that's been with a lot of men. Now, I know that sounds controversial, but stop and think about this. For all of human history, men have been repulsed by promiscuous women. It's instinctual. It's natural. The so-called controversy is new. It's been fabricated by the feminist narrative and modern society in general in an attempt to shame men into accepting the promiscuous woman, which is a relatively new thing. But the bottom line is, men do not need data. We don't need research. We don't need experts to tell us what we understand instinctually, naturally, that a promiscuous woman is a poor choice for a long-term partner. A wife, because if she's been promiscuous, she's very likely to cheat, and even if she doesn't, you'll never give her any first experiences in whatever good things that you do for her, somebody else has already done. You'll never be the man, you will always be one of the men, and that's instinctually repulsive to men. There's no controversy. So men, work on being objectively masculine, make the best of yourself overall, and don't allow society to shame you and thus pull you down and force you into a life that you don't want to live. Expect better. Demand better. Do not settle.
See, I have the other side of it. I'm not going to say repulsed because I hate that word.
Yeah. Okay.
But I am put off.
Yeah.
I'm put off by men who have a high body count because...
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Because if they're going around with... One, I don't know what they've got. I don't want to be with that. You know what I mean? And two, if they're going around and sleeping with that many people, why haven't they landed on themselves somebody proper yet?
I think that's because women are the ones who control sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't force a woman because that's obviously great.
Yeah.
So they control sex. Men are the ones who really control relationships. If you get a relationship if it's okay with the man, kind of thing. You have sex if it's okay with the woman. For example, a man will get down on one knee and it's his job to propose to marriage.
Yeah.
So I think that if a man is going out and sleeping with lots of different women, I would say in case one, he could sleep with these women and the women don't really want to know after that because hookup culture, which is huge today, that's what they're doing. Yeah. But then case two, yeah, it could be an player.
Yeah.
It could be an F-boy, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like men are pulled aside, if you will.
Yeah.
Not figuratively, but pulled aside. And we have to be taught, we have to learn how to do the act. We've got to do it well. Our worst nightmare is women talking about us behind our back, going, "Oh my God, I went with James last night," and like, oh God, it was like 2 minutes. Oh God, that kills us. It's game over. It's game over. Yeah, so we want to make sure that this doesn't happen, and we do that through practice and
yeah. But women are bound to talk no matter what. I mean, you've got to understand.
Yeah. But then if you do a good job, then what they talk is a good thing.
Yeah.
But about the high body count, it's also, I think it's biological as well. A man leaves a deposit, if you know what I mean. Do you believe in energies and things?
I believe in like energy levels. I won't say energy. I go vibes.
Vibes,
People
okay.
give me certain vibes. That's what I always say.
Well, I'm not going to go into all the energy kind of stuff because I'm a bit on the fence about that. But they say that when two people copulate, that there's an energy transfer.
Yeah.
So the woman is holding the energy of this guy for X amount of time. So if she does it quite a lot of times, there's a lot of male energy in there.
Yeah.
I was also reading a study, which I will cite on the next podcast possibly, about how a woman retains the DNA of a man that she sleeps with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, wow, I was wowed by it completely.
Yeah.
But then, at the same time as well, the pair bonding rather.
Yeah.
It affects both sexes, men and women, but it affects women a hell of a lot more. So it says that a woman who sleeps with X amount of men, basically the higher it goes, the less likely it is that she can pair bond with her husband in the end.
Yeah.
And it's not just a simple like line like that, it's an exponential curve.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad. Men are not affected like that. A man can go out and sleep with 6 women a week and he can find a woman and he's done. Wow, okay. And he stays because she's absolutely amazing. She's like, I mean, there'll still be the thing about wanting to get out and cheat. He's not going to want to cheat us in like abandon her and go out and go with someone else.
Yeah.
If the opportunity arises, yes, there is a possibility that he would. But then let's face it, the opportunity of a man getting a woman to sleep with, the opportunity of a woman getting a man to sleep with is much higher. So it's got lots less likelihood to happen.
Yeah. And obviously, what else did you say about? Obviously, it's repulsing for women to have a high body count.
Yeah, because of all that energy. Because of well, they say that the best indicator of future behaviour is past behaviour.
Yes.
So if a woman's promiscuous, if a woman's got a high body count, then she's probably going to cheat on you. What's special about you? Because you are now being compared to every single one of these guys that she's been with. And you're not going to be the best in all departments at all. But men, I can't say that men are like that.
See, I've had, it's obviously my husband who I'm with now, that's my first, I won't say proper long-term relationship, but it's the longest, obviously, relationship I've ever had. But before that, I wouldn't sleep about, but I would dip my, trying to like find out what's going on. And a guy that I was with before my husband, he actually came to my husband once we were together and was like, how does it feel? You know, and that was so... My husband doesn't care about any of that. He's not bothered whatsoever. He's like, your past is your past, whatever. I was like, how low do you have to stoop to go to another man and go, how does it feel? And I'm like, and the worst part, I didn't even sleep with him.
Wow.
And it was just, I was like, that's petty, that's childish.
Yeah, that's a double disrespect, isn't it? Because he's come to like the guy and said that as well, like trying to belittle him and just
behind my back.
Wow.
And trying to get a reaction out of him.
Yeah. And
it was so, I was like, are you joking? Like, because he read me the message. I was like, are you joking me? I was like, you really said? He's like, yeah. And then the lies started coming of, oh, he said this with you and this happened, and you and this happened, and you and this happened. And I'm like, no, we've been through my past relationships and all that lot. You know everything about me.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's good that you two are strong, though. It is good because that kind of thing is designed to cause turmoil in a relationship, obviously. Yeah. So it's good that you two were able to just like put it away.
Oh yeah, I was called a whore and all this. I got called all of this.
Yeah.
Not because I would sleep about, but because, and I wouldn't jump from man to man, but I would be openly flirty with people. I'd put myself out there.
Yeah.
And some men couldn't handle the fact that I would quite openly put myself out there and go, you know, oh, you're quite, I'll have a conversation with this guy and I'm quite open about, I've spoken with this guy. I was like, I've done absolutely nothing sexual with any of them. I'm just openly flirting with each of them. Yeah. They all know about each other.
Yeah.
And because of that, I got called a whore.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but it wasn't sexual. And this is what I don't understand. I get called, you know, slut, whore. But it's just because I was, and obviously back in the day, that's what people would do. They would like date multiple men, but not actually be in a relationship with them. Courting, that's the term.
Yeah.
That was it. I can't remember the term for a second there.
Because courting sounds like, okay, I can get on board with that, but dating to me sounds like
not dating.
Some kind of...
wrong terminology, courting. And a woman, or men would like present themselves to, they'd like go out with them, they'd all talk, but at the end of the day, they'd only date one person.
Yeah.
And that is what I was doing. I was putting myself out there.
Yeah,
just talking to a bunch of men. Okay,
to select the best one, the best compatibility.
Not to say select, but it was just like.
Well, that's what you do.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. But
we can't. You can.
Yeah, and in the end, it was none of those people I was talking to.
Yeah.
Because all they ever wanted was, I want to meet up with you, and I want to do this, and I want to do. And I'm like, it wasn't about the conversation. Yeah. It was always about when can we meet, and I'm like, no, sorry.
Yeah. Well, what he says about men are put off by a woman with a high body count, let's call it that, is because he's right. What he says there, men, we're hardwired to be providers and protectors.
Yeah.
We want to be the guy that's showing you your good times.
Yeah.
We want to be the guy that you sit there and talk to your friends about, oh, he did this and he showed me this, oh, he took me here, he done this. This makes us dance, this makes us go crazy, this is what we exist for, this is what we want.
Yeah.
But a woman that's got a high body count, odds are that's happened many times before, and odds are you're not probably going to be the most successful or the most rich to give her their best experiences.
Yeah.
For example, I can take someone with a high body count, for example, to like Spain on a holiday. If she's got a high body count, someone might have took it to
somebody might have done it. Yeah,
Barbados or wherever, you know.
Yeah.
I could like pull up one day and say, let's go to a restaurant, and I'm in like a BMW 3 Series, and then someone previously could have pulled up in like a Range Rover, blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we generally just want to be the best person for her, to give her the best experiences, and that's what love is for us.
Yeah. Okay. Question for you then, because I'm intrigued about this now.
Yeah.
If you go out with a woman and the topic of body count comes up, if she says over a certain number, is that like an immediate? What's like the number around where you kind of go no?
For me, I suppose back in the day, it would have been 3 or 4 or whatever. But now, I'm going to say 8.
8.
Yeah. I know there's this big thing about, oh, you need to find a woman who's only got like one body or 2 or a virgin and everything else. But when you're an adult, a fully blown adult, it's not going to happen. People have made mistakes and you've got to account for that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not perfect. Women are not perfect. I make bad decisions. They make bad decisions. But I think 8.
Okay.
I think after 8, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What are your tendencies? What do you like? And especially with the news of women do that sometimes for distraction.
Okay, well...
How about you?
Well, let me say this first. So what if a woman comes out and goes, look, I had a high body count because when I was young, I had a bad year and I was just doing this, but I've cleaned up now and I have not been with somebody since.
How many are we talking?
Double digits. So say she had a year of just like going out every single week, like
this all happened
12
in,
or so.
Okay, the 12 in a year.
Yeah. So she had like 1 a month or so.
No.
No. Even if she said, look,
old habits die hard.
This
no.
was years ago. I've cleaned up. Say she was like going out. She was drinking every weekend for a year straight. She cleaned up. She doesn't drink anymore. She's got a really good job. She's got a house.
Do you know what? I'm so sorry. I'm
You
so
still
sorry.
say no?
I'll still say no, simply because I can see what people are like, and a lot of women are like this.
Yeah.
When they can do, for example, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
A woman who is in some kind of a sex trade, okay, let's just call it escorting.
Yeah.
Okay, she goes out, she makes X amount of money, and life's good. She cleans up, she goes all good, she's got a good job. It might not pay as much as the escorting, but that's what she does, and she's okay now. Old habits die hard.
Yeah.
So what happens if one day she loses that job and she's faced with the prospect of stocking shelves, although let's give her an advanced age of like, say, 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. She can stock shelves with teenagers for, 8 hours a day?
Yeah.
6 days a week.
Wage.
Minimum wage, yeah. Or she can go and be out with someone and get paid 2 weeks' wages or more.
Yeah.
I know that's a crazy example and everything else, like, but what I see is that old habits die hard.
Okay.
The minute some kind of bad thing happens, it could even be a massive argument because women are so emotional.
Yeah.
They're so emotional, and they'll do things just to put that knife in and twist it and think, yeah, how do you like me now?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, no. Once that's been inside the bodies, no.
Okay.
No. Okay, so there's our reactions for this week. Tune in next 2 days, 3 days, and we'll have some more videos and tell you about the skullduggery and the goings on and degradation of society. But thank you very much for tuning in. Bye bye.